Welcome back, people, to another preview. Ryan Williams, AFC. If you're new to the channel, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And of course, leave all your comments at the bottom of this video. If you want to get in touch with me, click the links in the description. So, guys, West Ham, Monday, London Stadium. How do we feel? I do not know how to feel. Nervous? We should be. Let's be real. West Ham have been poor this season, but we've been making poor teams look excellent this season. So you're not sure what to take from this. We know West Ham haven't really been winning much games lately, but they did go away to Stamford Bridge 2 weeks ago and beat Chelsea. So let's not take this like this is going to be an easy game. This is not going to be an easy game. We already saw, we already come against a team, that have been poor this season, in fact, we've been against Watford. We went 2-0 up, and then we ended up drawing that game 2-2. Southampton, and we scraped it in the 96th minute, 2-2. So again, these teams below us, we cannot be taken any lightly at all. Even when we went to Norwich 2 matches ago, 2-2. Crazy. But I don't know. I feel Freddie needs to go balls deep with his picks. If I'm honest, some of his starting lineups, well, pretty much most of his starting lineups since he's come and taken in, like, you know, he says he's not really gonna change much. He kind of has changed much when it comes to the attack. I do see us attacking him a little bit more, but again, you know, creativity and throughout the 90 minutes is not good enough. Do you know what I mean? In terms of where we're trying to get top 4, but we're 10 points off top 4. So it just looks out right now in case of our form. So I feel Ljungberg really has to go bold. You know, some of his picks, I know I keep going on about it. A lot of people have said it. If Unai Emery is still in the job, you'd expect something similar to that. But it is what it is. We're not even seeing Pepe and Ozil start together. Do you know what I'm saying? And it looked so much more fluent when we saw Pepe come on in the second half last week against Brighton, but it wasn't good enough still. So I feel Freddie Ljungberg has to get his starting 11 right. It is very, like, nothing's really changed when it comes down to Unai Emery's starting lineup before he left or got sacked, let's be real. So, you know, let's give me my starting 11, what I feel Ljungberg really should go out for. So, we're away from home. We haven't really done well away from home. I think our last away win from home was probably in the league. I'm pretty sure it was the first game of the season against Newcastle. And look how long ago that is, man. Sugar. We're almost at Christmas. So, in goal, we're going to stick with Bernd Leno. He's been making some fantastic saves in the last couple games. And, you know, we really need to be protecting him. Do you know what I'm saying? So, this is why I feel certain key players that have played need to come back in the squad now. And I know maybe 1 or 2 haven't really been confident, but they need to pull their socks up now, because we can't rely on what we got at the minute. It's ridiculous. So right back, Bellerin, you need to start putting up a better game. Do you know what I mean? I feel, you know, look, I know he has injury problems, and I said we do need to take time with him. We do, but I mean, he needs to show a little bit more fight, man. He's come out, he said that the team's low, and he feels it. And look, we all feel it, but you don't need to be trying. You don't need to be trying. So Bellerin's there. Next to him, I'm gonna slot Callum Chambers centre back. And the reason why I'm gonna do that is simply because David Luiz, I'm gonna drop him. Because David Luiz, as much as he can whip a ball in from the back line all the way forward, so Aubameyang or Pepe or Lacazette could reach it. I mean, defensively, he just gets caught out too easily. Do you know what I'm saying? it is what it is with David Luiz. You knew what he was getting. He has a good game, he has a bad game. He's just not consistent enough. And unfortunately, when we saw him play DM, which I won't mind putting him there, but I mean, he hasn't really been playing better than Xhaka. And that's another thing to get to when I get to Xhaka. Then you can't really make a case for him. And so can Socrates. Socrates has been awful. Been awful, awful, awful since the start of the season. So for me, it's gonna have to be Cannon Chambers, Rob Holding. I'm gonna bring Kieran Tierney in there. We need to be using these guys now. Right now, we need to be finding whatever defensive combination and try work on that, because simply Socrates, Kolasinac, and Luiz and Mustafi are not good enough. They all need to go. So playing these guys, listen, we got a better chance playing with these guys to not make as much mistakes and be as rash in tackles than a Socrates or a David Luiz. Going into the midfield, this one's going to be interesting because Matteo Guendouzi was on the bench last week, and I personally put him on my bench because I felt like he has discipline issues. He is not mature enough. But we know what he can do. We know he can put a ball in, and his creativity was needed last week. You know what I mean? When it was Ozil on his own, like, we couldn't really do much until Pepe came on. But even then, it still wasn't good enough. So I feel bringing Matteo back in for this one should be fine. I'm gonna put Granit Xhaka. I'm gonna keep him in there. Look, regardless of what he's done and that, and it pays me to say it because I've been one of his biggest critics. And the reason why I say it pays me to say it because he's shutting my mouth right now. He's playing well, but you know, let's be real. We all know he's not good enough, and it is what it is. But I think a lot of us right now have put it aside, put the Xhaka issue aside, and looked at the team because the performance is way worse with that situation. So regardless of what everybody thinks of him and what I think of him personally, he's been putting up his socks in the last couple games. He's come back in, so I'm gonna keep him in there, Granit Xhaka. In front of him, I'm gonna have to keep on relying on Mesut Ozil. Didn't really have the best of games last week, but if I'm honest, I mean, he was the only person that was even trying to create anything, and then he just fizzled out, as we know Ozil would. So I think I'm going to have to pick Mesut Ozil for this one. Now, this one is going to get interesting. I'm going to mix it up a little bit. So, up top, I'm going to put Aubameyang up there. I'm gonna sit Lacazette out for this one. On a personal note, because I feel like he's just... I know he got the goal last week, but I don't know, the way he starts the game, he's just not sharp enough. I don't know, it just hasn't really been the same Lacazette this season. And I feel Aubameyang, and we're missing his goals, him playing centrally. So for me, I feel Aubameyang is going to have to play up top. I'm going to pick Gabriel Martinelli to come in for this one. I feel he's deserved his chance. He's proven his point every time he's come in. He's tried to do something. In the previous games, of course, he's actually scored more. He's actually scored more consecutively than Aubameyang, and that makes sense. More recently than Aubameyang, if that makes sense. So, oh boy, it is what it is. So Martinelli, he's on fire. We got to use that. Do you know what I'm saying? And Pepe has to start. Like, again, we bought this player in for £72 million. I know he's low on confidence. He has come out recently and spoken and been open about it, about his adjustment. And therefore, you know, we need to band together and, you know, as well as help him out, we got to help the team out. And I feel, you know, he needs to be putting up his socks a lot more as well. So, Pepe, this is your chance, bro. I say it every game with all these players. This is your chance to step it up. But again, you know, it's slow, lethargic. We don't need that right now. We don't need that. These guys need to be playing properly. And the reason why I didn't pick Lucas Torreira, because I've been wanting Torreira to play DM, but every time I see him play DM, he's not sitting there. He's just going forward. So, I can't allow that. I can't allow that. So for me, he's gonna have to sit on the bench. Do you know what I'm saying? So, we got Nelson there on the bench. Lacazette can come off the bench and do something. Do you know what I mean? We got Willock on the bench, who I feel, we got to take him out the squad, Freddie, because I know you like Willock, but the last couple of games he hasn't really been performing well. He did make that goal-saving challenge a couple matches ago, but since then he's been overrunning it, especially in the last match. But I still like Joe Willock no matter what, but I think he just needs to be on the bench for this one. We've got Saka as well, and we got other options. Kolasinac could be on the bench if necessary, but personally I want to play Tierney for the full 90 minutes. This is why we bought him in for. We were taking too long to buy him from Celtic, so why are we not paying our £25 million man? It's as simple as that. So, for me, I'm going to be a little bit optimistic. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win, only based off the fact I feel if we play right, if we don't have this silly defense, then we got a chance. Do you know what I mean? But football, man, fine margins, and you never know what you're going to get with Arsenal. We haven't won against West Ham at their home ground in a few seasons now, and again, our season right now hasn't really been great. Neither has theirs, but at the same time, we need to change it around. So I hope for Freddie Ljungberg, he puts on and be bold, puts on a good squad, and I hope the team can actually put their head up high, because I said it in the last video. I felt the fans kind of didn't really help, but like I said, I understand, because I'm there too. Like, I'm so split right now because I'm pissed off at the players because they're not performing. I'm peed off at, Ljungberg not getting it right. But on the other side to it, I know Ljungberg's not experienced. I can't get mad at him for that. He's come out vividly and said that the club, he'll do anything for the club if need be. And we all know the situation. We know he's out of his depth. But this is the problem with the hierarchy, and that's another conversation for another day, and we all know about it. So we know Ljungberg's out of his depth right now, but we need to give the team some support. But the players need to be doing it. I'm sorry, like, we put in as much support as we do, and this is the other side. The players need to be putting up their socks, because it's just not good enough. We shouldn't be 9th right now in the table going into Christmas. So that is my starting 11. Do you agree or not? Let me know in the comment section. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I'm Ryan Williams, AFC, and I'll be back with the match review. Until then, peace.